The Kansas City Chiefs kick off the NFL season victorious over the Baltimore Ravens in a really good one to start off the 2024 schedule. And we're making the picks for the rest of the games in week one coming at you right now.
NFL analyst Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson bring you expert NFL analysis every day in less than 30 minutes. Get an inside look at the NFL on the field and in the front office with elite breakdowns to next-level analysis and in-depth information only for the real NFL fans. This is Peacock and Williamson, and it starts now.
Welcome to the Peacock and Williamson NFL Show. Brian Peacock alongside Matt Williamson at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Thanks everybody for making us your first listen right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Love all the everydayers out there. Subscribed up on YouTube or wherever you are listening to this podcast. And if you're new to the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when a new episode is live, and we'll take you through the 2024 season. Today's episode of Peacock and Williamson brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. All right, it's underway. The season has begun, Matt. And we've already made our six-pack of picks. We'll go back over those for those folks that missed the six-pack episode and go back Wednesday. And we both liked the Chiefs on Thursday night, and the Chiefs barely did come out ahead by a toe over the Baltimore Ravens. And I loved that the Ravens were going to go for two to win that thing in regulation and not play for overtime. And I wish we would have gotten a chance to see that happen. But Isaiah Likely was just out of bounds there. What a game he had, though. Is Isaiah Likely better than Mark Andrews, by the way?
I don't know. Kelsey and Andrew owners in fantasy aren't real thrilled today and are a little concerned. I can tell you that. So anyway, I thought it was a really fun and entertaining game, and Isaiah Likely played a whale of a game. I'd have to study the All-22, where they really just designed to take away Andrews, and if Likely beats you, so be it, and he almost did. Couple takeaways here, though, I really wanted to stress. I think there's a lot to take away from that game. First off, all this talk about the kickoff rules might not matter. They might just kick it out of the end zone every time again. You know what I mean?
I had a feeling it might come and go with a whimper with the new kickoff rules. We'll see.
It sure seemed that way last night. We'll just give it to you at the 30. You'll be fine. Now, I am now a every Friday guest on Locked On NFL. And what we do on that show now, it's a little bit different format, is we respond to other hosts on the network. And I apologize, I forget who said it. Something like, boy, Lamar blew it for the Ravens because he missed Zay Flowers. And I had a major problem with that take. I urge you to go check out that podcast because, he missed Zay Flowers open in the end zone. And not the easiest throw in the world, rolling right, going left, but he missed him. I don't even think that they're close to being in that game without Lamar or a quarterback of that stature. I mean, all the pre-snap penalties, and they couldn't block anybody. I mean, Chris Jones is like walking across the offensive line like, okay, now you're going to be mine. I'm going to take Falele. This time I'm going to take the right tackle. And then everybody just adjusts accordingly. And Lamar, I mean, most quarterbacks I think we'd be talking about today, he was sacked 7 or 8 times.
I'm kind of in the middle on that.
Okay.
And it's not that you blame it on Lamar because Lamar was the entire offense, but that's kind of what I have the problem with. Is like, is Lamar going to last 16?
I don't think that's sustainable at all.
Right. And
that's
so
a one night.
Worried about a little bit. Justice Hill is on the field a lot. He had 6 catches. He was the third most targeted player on the team was Justice Hill, the backup running back. And Derrick Henry might not be the guy he was before. Is this going to be such a Lamar-centric offense? And they're not in the game without him, but he did miss 2 key throws at the same time. And so I kind of see both sides of that. But man, he ran the ball 16 times and then threw it 41 times. I mean, it was just such a Lamar Jackson-centric game and missed a couple. You'd love to have those back. He needed to hit those for his team to win it. But yeah, my main takeaway from this game was unsustainably too much Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and I think we're both kind of saying the same thing because I don't think if Harbaugh was sitting here and you gave him truth serum, I think he'd be like, that's not how we drew it up at all. Everything we practiced didn't work. But that's why you pay someone like Lamar whatever he wants, and
Well,
just say,
MVP. It's like, well, that's not working. Hey, Lamar, can you go win this for us?
yeah, we don't really have any plays called. Just go make plays like it's recess and we're a bunch of fourth graders, you know? And so he did, and he kept them in a game in Kansas City against a great football team in an awful environment because he's a superstar talent. You know what I mean? That's the way I took it. And you can only do so much. You can't live that way.
So 16 for 122 on the ground for Lamar Jackson. He threw for 273 yards with the touchdown. Did have the turnover on the fumble with, it was funny because on the broadcast, they're like, oh, cool, they're going to put in the rookie right tackle. And then instantly a stretch.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. On the other side, Kingsley Suamataia had some good plays, had some poor plays. He did throw the last block on Roquan Smith as fellow rookie Xavier Worthy scampered into the end zone. Worthy touched the ball 3 times, scored twice. I mean, what a good view for the rookies for the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely wasn't perfect for Suamataia. And again, Worthy only touched the ball 3 times, but he had a huge impact with those touches. And so those touches might go up.
100%. And I have the greatest respect for Travis Kelce, but I think we also saw this coming. And I'm not saying he's going to be quiet every week, but Rashee Rice is becoming the Kelce. He's the slant guy, the middle of the field, the between the numbers type dude. And now you throw serious juice with Marquise Brown one day and Worthy, sprinkle in more Kelce. I think this offense is going to be great. And I think the tackle stuff will work itself out, but the interior line is pretty awesome.
Yeah, really good on the interior, which is why you can, help out a rookie when you have that many very good veterans on the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, Mahomes was Mahomes, 20 of 28 passing, 291, had the touchdown, did have an interception there. But, overall, it was a good day there. And the Kansas City Chiefs came away with that win. It's a small sample. It's one game. You don't want to overrate anything you saw there. But I came away really impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs, the varied ways they can attack you on offense. And I came away like a little bit worried about the Baltimore Ravens and how much they had to rely on Lamar Jackson in this game.
Yeah. But they're lucky that they have a joker, in their hand, that they can do a lot of things. And nice long week. I mean, all the games ahead probably don't look as difficult as that one. I think Coach Harbaugh knows a thing or two, but I just wonder, do you just not have enough good offensive linemen?
We will find out as the season goes along for the Baltimore Ravens. 0-1 now. The Kansas City Chiefs start 1-0 after a 27-20 win on Thursday night to get everybody going in this 2024 NFL season. Real quick note before we get to the rest of the picks here, because there's some news today. And Jalen Ramsey, what did it take 24 hours for him to say, hey, I want $1 more than Patrick Surtain so I could be the highest paid corner in the league again? I think that's and I don't even know if it was like a true extension. This might be a little bit more of like, let's move money around to make him feel like he's the number one guy and he can say he's making 24.1.
I just wonder if they have like a handshake agreement, like you'll always be the top defensive back or corner in the league because we love you. I frankly think Surtain's worth more at this stage of their careers, but he's a great player too. Yeah, no doubt.
I would rather have Surtain. There's a lot of flexibility to Jalen Ramsey's game these days. He's still a very good player, obviously, but is he the best true corner in the NFL still? I don't know. Maybe probably
I
still
lean towards no,
near the top, but
near the top.
Going forward and with the youth on his side, I would take Patrick Surtain right now over Jalen Ramsey.
Me too. But Miami's in it to win it. They put a lot of money into Tua and Waddle, et cetera, and frankly, the rest of their corner room's a little suspect right now.
All right, let's get to the rest of our picks for week 1 of the NFL schedule next. Today's episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board either. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. In fact, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. So hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn helps you out because they know small businesses are wearing so many hats, might not have the time and resources to hire. So constantly finding ways to make the process easier. They even launched new features to help you write job descriptions, making the whole process even easier and quicker. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Just a little reminder for some of the picks that we made in the six pack, and you can go back and listen to our episode there if you want to hear all of our picks for our favorite six pack of games that we do every week. And we did have both of us giving up 3 points, taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Baltimore Ravens. We hit on that one, Matt. We agreed a lot on our six pack. We both have the Friday nighter that's about to go down with Green Bay winning in Brazil over the Philadelphia Eagles. We both took the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm having my doubts. I kind of want to go back and take Atlanta on that one. I'm going to stick with my gut there and go with the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1. Houston Texans over Indy. We both had Miami over Jacksonville. I took Buffalo. You took Arizona against the spread. 6-point spread at the time there. Buffalo favored at home against the Arizona Cardinals. So that was our 6-pack of picks, Matt. And now let's get going on the rest of our picks for week number 1 in the NFL season. And all the lines we reference, by the way, come from FanDuel.com on today's episode. How about the Tennessee Titans at the Chicago Bears? And it is those Chicago Bears starting rookie quarterback. We get to see the debut of Caleb Williams, favored by 3.5 points over the visiting Tennessee Titans.
I understand all the excitement about the Bears, and I get it, and I'm excited too. And if I was a Bears fan, I'd be doing dances and buying Caleb Williams jerseys for everybody I know. I just think that a lot of change and a rookie quarterback, we might be getting a little ahead of ourselves. I like the Titans to keep this thing close, although I don't know who has the coaching advantage here. I think the Bears still have the quarterback advantage. But Tennessee added a lot of veteran, high-priced guys. I think they can hang around within that spread.
I don't like that 0.5 point.
Me neither.
And I really want to take the Bears here because I think the Bears can play D. And I think the Bears can run the ball a little bit. And there's so many weapons for the young quarterback, but he's a rookie quarterback making his first start. The thing is, on the other side, it's a year 2 quarterback. What do we know about what Will Levis is going to look like this year? And so when you put that all together, it's in Chicago. They're going to be hyped in Chicago. As long as Caleb Williams doesn't fall on his face and throw a bunch of interceptions, I still do like Chicago. So reluctantly, and I don't know if I would actually put money on this one and touch this, but I got to make picks here for all the games. I'm going to give up the 3.5 and take the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I'm staying far away.
The New England Patriots. We will not see Drake May, well, unless something happens to Jacoby Brissett or he gets benched in week 1. But Jacoby Brissett is going to start, not Drake May, for the New England Patriots as they travel to face Joe Burrow and maybe no veteran receivers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, as of Friday, head coach Zach Taylor says, I don't know. We'll see if Jamar Chase or T. Higgins play on Sunday because T. Higgins came up with an injury and Jamar Chase is in a contract dispute right now.
Yeah, this is a tough one to comment on, obviously, for those reasons. And Chase seems more, or I don't know who's more likely. I keep thinking Chase will play. I mean, if he's part of the team and all that. I just think New England's terrible. And the more I look at New England, the less I trust them. I think the Bengals front will abuse that Patriot line. I just can't see many points coming out of New England, no matter who they play. So I'll bet against them.
8.5 points.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, neither one of them play. It's the right week to have this weirdness going on, but the Bengals need to figure this thing out with Jamar Chase. Like this had to happen by Wednesday when you start your practice week. So I don't like that vibe at all for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bad mojo in Cincinnati.
Yeah. And so I might go like under with this game, and it's 40.5. So it is projected to be a low scoring game here by the FanDuel odds, but I'm going to take the Patriots just to 8.5 points. I'm just going to take a lot of points and think this is within a touchdown game and kind of ugly. And then the Bengals squeak out with a win.
If it was Belichick, I'd take the Patriots all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
We don't know. This is new territory. It's a Belichick disciple. Gerard Mayo, how's this going to look? It's a ex-Belichick quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. How different is this Patriots team going to look without Bill Belichick? And how big of a deal is it? Could be a huge deal. We could find out that Higgins and Chase roll out there and, they get beat by 3 touchdowns too. Like that's absolutely a possibility. I'm just going to take the points in a weird week 1.
Okay.
Let's move on to the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. We've got some good divisional matchups happening early in the season here. This is one of them in the NFC South. The Saints need to knock off the Panthers if they're going to march toward a division win here. And we'll see what young Bryce Young looks like here in year 2 as an NFL starting quarterback with the Carolina Panthers. New look Panthers, and they are traveling to the Saints, and the Saints at home are favored by 4, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are boring and kind of curmudgeon-ish and old, and I really don't like their O-line. But that's still a really difficult place to play, especially when there's a lot of hope still on opening day. And I think the Panthers' O is better, but I think the D is worse, which is kind of a wash. And I think Carr's a better player than he looked for much of last year. New offensive coordinator. I'm taking the Saints here and laying the points.
I am as well. I'm going to give up 4 points and take the Saints in a tough environment to start the year. And again, it could be a weird week 1. We could see a lot of teams playing slow into the season, and I'm gonna have to see the Panthers as being a competitive team before I start betting on them to be a competitive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure they should be 4-point dogs to anybody at this point, unless it's like New England,
We've got Sam Darnold versus Daniel Jones, the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants. I got to be honest, I'm not going to catch much of this game unless there's fireworks that show up on my red zone on Sunday. The Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants, and it is Minnesota on the road, favored by 1.5.
I'm taking a home dog here. I mean, the Vikings tackles are great, but their interior O-line versus Dexter Lawrence, I can see Sam Darnold getting rattled going back to the Big Apple. Now, Jefferson is somebody the Giants have no answer for whatsoever. But I also think we're a little rough on Daniel Jones and the O-line and the Giants offense and Dayball overall against the Vikings D that I don't think super talented. So points at home, I'll take the points.
Yeah, I'm going home dog here. I don't know. We still don't know what Sam Darnold is, or we still don't know if he's different than what we knew he already was, right? And so does he see the field clean? Does he throw the ball to the New York Giants a whole bunch? I really have no idea. And I think early in the year, the New York Giants can muster enough offense on this Vikings defense to win at home. And so, I like the home dog here.
So I don't know where you give the quarterback edge. I mean, neither one of us are big Daniel Jones fans, but probably Jones, I guess. But maybe by the end of the game, it's very clear one way or another.
Right. Yeah. If Sam Darnold's not throwing interceptions, Sam Darnold's the better quarterback.
I agree. Although his accuracy is, too, but still.
Because I don't believe, I know exactly who Daniel Jones is, and he's not a good quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors,
I bet he runs a lot.
Maybe just watching Malik Neighbors and Justin Jefferson's worth the price of admission on this one.
They might combine for 30 targets.
Could this be a sneaky higher scoring game?
Maybe.
Over on the 41.5?
I would run Daniel Jones a ton. I think Neighbors might have 15 targets. Jefferson might have 15 targets. Just dance with who brung you,
Yeah. Next, how about Jim Harbaugh's debut back in the NFL, and they're taking on a division rival, Chargers Raiders. We got Broncos Seahawks, a really good one on Sunday night as well with the Rams and the Lions. A whole lot more picks here for week 1 next. This episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is you pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and then watch those winnings roll in. We talked about Caleb Williams and his debut. How about a little special offer here? I mentioned you only got to win 2 or more, right? So you pick 2 or you pick 2 to 6 player stat projections and you pick more or less on those. Well, you get one freebie as long as Caleb Williams passes for 1 yard. One Caleb Williams passing yard at PrizePicks all month of September, just 1 yard. And you win on that more than on the passing yards for Caleb Williams. So check out that special and tons more and a lot more stat projections for your favorite team. Just download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, Jim Harbaugh is back. This is going to be a good one. I can't wait to see what this looks like because I don't really know what to think about both the Chargers and Raiders. I don't know that either team is going to be very good, but I could see a scenario where you have a star quarterback in Justin Herbert. He's going to play. He's fine. He's playing through that plantar fascia. Hopefully that goes well for him this season. Maybe a lack of weaponry on offense, but a well-coached Harbaugh team that plays tough, run the ball. You make a few plays. If you're Justin Herbert, you got a healthy Bosa and Khalil Mack on the other side. And I like the Chargers. They're favored by 3 at home. I think it's a fine line, but I just trust that. And I trust the Chargers at home over the division rival Las Vegas Raiders. How do you see this one, Matt?
Yeah, this is a stay away game for me, but I'd take Vegas in this one. I don't think either one of these teams has much of a home field advantage, to be honest with you, no matter where they play. And I kind of look at the Chargers offense like, well, their strength is obviously their quarterback and what could be a really good line. But is Alt ready to handle Crosby? You know what I mean? Like, and Wilkins, I think the Raiders, the further you get away from the line on defense, they get worse. But the Chargers can't exploit that because they don't have any weapons. So I think on that side of the ball, they can hang. And frankly, I think the Raiders have much better weapons than the Chargers. I mean, Herbert's a wild card here, but is he at full strength? Probably not. I'll just say points.
I mean, 2 good points by you that makes me want to take the points, Matt. And that is a huge disadvantage for the Chargers, Crosby versus Alt, because rookie offensive tackles, they just, even playing in the preseason, you probably don't see a lot of ones and you don't see a lot of guys like Max Crosby. He had some struggles, and even for a top 5 offensive tackle, it takes some time to be that guy. And so that is a mismatch on the Raiders side. And you mentioned home field advantage. There's very likely more Raiders fans than Chargers because there's still a ton of fans in Los Angeles. In fact, there might be as many Raiders fans in Los Angeles as any city in the world.
I don't doubt that at all. I mean, I don't look at the Chargers and be like, boy, that's a great home field advantage ever.
Got me second guessing, but I'm sticking with it. I picked the Chargers. I'm staying with the Chargers there. Matt's got the points, taking the Raiders on the road at Los Angeles. The Denver Broncos are going to be at the Seattle Seahawks in week 1, Matt. Seattle favored by 6 at home against rookie quarterback Bo Nix making his debut.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because rookie head coach against a potential Hall of Fame head coach with a lot of time to prepare does favor Peyton, although I don't think he's blown my doors off as a Denver head coach. But Seattle, to me, is a sleepy playoff type team to me. Surtain can only guard one of those receivers, probably Metcalf. I look at Denver and just think they don't have much talent. And even though Nick seems mature, I'm sure Seattle's, McDonald's going to dial up a lot of stuff to get in his head. Seattle's a really tough place to play. Should be rocking. I'll take Seattle here.
Yeah, and you can see why it's 6 points. You got a rookie quarterback going to a tough place to play in Seattle. If this was Seahawks going to the Broncos, I would like it a lot better for Denver. But, rookie quarterback making his first start. Seattle Seahawks have a lot of talent on this roster. I think there's kind of a high ceiling, low floor. Don't know exactly what's going to look like with the new coaching staff and how quickly it comes together. But if you're going to have an opponent, one that's starting a rookie quarterback in his first NFL game is a great way to start your new regime to try to figure things out. So I do like the Seahawks by a touchdown. So I will give up those 6 points.
Seems like a lot of points for Seattle to give anyone at this stage of their development. But, man, I would not want to walk in there, even though I played at Oregon. You know what I mean? Like, Seattle's a tough place to play.
Right. The Dallas Cowboys are at the Cleveland Browns. A couple of good defenses here. You might want to go under potentially on this one. 40.5 is the over-under, but we're not doing over-unders. We're doing picks against the spread, and the home Cleveland Browns favored by 2.5, Matt.
I love the under, so therefore I'll take points. These offensive lines are in kind of strange places because they've been really good the last couple of years, but the Browns have had offensive tackle injury after offensive tackle injury and lost their O-line coach. Dallas is starting a right tackle turned left tackle rookie and a new center, like the two most important positions. And I just think these two defensive-minded coaches with Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons as their revolvers just coming at you at offensive line weaknesses. Who can get more sacks, Parsons or Garrett? And I like Dallas because they're getting points. And I also think Dak handles pressure 1,000 times better than Watson.
I like Cleveland in this one, so I'm going Cleveland by a field goal. I'll give up those 2.5 points. It's not enough. I like the home field advantage. I do think the Cleveland Browns are a really good team, and this could be a sort of an ugly game. So I don't think that Dak is going to be able to feast, even though I think overall I like the chances of Dak having a big year, a contract year. He hasn't re-signed a new deal yet. Going for someone like Dak Prescott, what money could be made for him in the upcoming offseason. And regular season Dak is usually really good. We'll talk about the playoffs another time. But I think Dak is in for a good regular season. Might start a little rocky against that Cleveland Browns defense and the offensive line. Weirdness you mentioned and not being able to run the ball potentially to slow that defensive line down. I don't like that matchup for the Cowboys, so I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, fair enough.
The Washington Commanders are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa favored by 3.5.
Going to be hot. I mean, even that game last night, Chris Jones and company were winding down heavily at the end of the game. I don't think Washington has a whole lot of talent. I wish this was not 3.5, but I'm going to take the Bucs here tentatively.
90-degree football is what we're going to have. I mean, I think football, I think of, the mud and snow, and I don't think of 90 degrees. So yeah, big home field advantage there. Washington, the Commanders players aren't, they're no stranger to humidity where they practice too, but it's a little bit different down in Florida and in Tampa. And I just don't think the Commanders are that good. And you're starting a rookie quarterback, and I'm going to tune into all these games to watch Caleb Williams and Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, and I can't wait to see what these rookie quarterbacks look like. But it's hard to win in the NFL for rookie quarterbacks, and maybe under-talented team there in Washington. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'll give up that 3.5 at home.
Blocking Vita Vea, and I mean that's not going to be easy for that group.
Detroit Lions are at home, and they're hosting the Los Angeles Rams. The Lions are favored by 4.5 points against LA.
I like the Lions here pretty handily, and I have great respect for the Rams and McVay and their organization and Stafford. And of course, we know the quarterback revenge game and that they had a really good game last we saw these teams. But man, I mean, no Aaron Donald against what I think is the best offensive line in the league. That's asking a lot of the young Rams defensive linemen. And making things worse is between St. Brown and Laporta, I don't think anyone attacks the middle of the field as well as the Lions. And they just traded Ernest Jones, who's like in charge of all that. I really don't like the Rams defensive situation here at all.
Right. Yeah. I think there's a chance that the Lions are able to run the Rams off the field. And even you think about their second, how are they going to replace Aaron Donald? Well, they drafted a couple of guys, and I think their first round end is a pretty stout guy and can hold his own on the edge. But Braden Fisk is not a good run defender, so he's not going to help out in that regard either. So I don't even know if Jared Goff has to do a lot in the revenge game against the Rams here. I think they're going to be able to run the ball quite handily and put up some points on the Rams. And I don't know if the Rams have the offensive firepower to fight that back against the Detroit Lions defense. So yeah, give me Detroit in this one by a touchdown or so. So giving up the 4.5 points.
I do like Nakua and Kupp against young corners. Those guys are craftsmen and they'll be hard to cover.
This is the biggest over-under of the week, by the way. 52.5 points. Let me double check. I'm looking at the rest of the games. I don't think anybody else was in the 50s. No. Packers Eagles tonight is 49.5. So that's the next closest. The only game over 50 is the 52.5 in this one. So yeah.
Okay. I guess that adds up.
Yep. And then on Monday night, we've got the 49ers hosting the New York Jets. This is a rarity. This is points per play, the number one team in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers last year against the number one defense points per play in the New York Jets last year.
So I don't want to just follow your lead, but please take this one first because I'm having a hard time. And much of it, honestly, is just what is Aaron Rodgers? I mean, that's such a hard thing that nobody knows that answer.
49ers by a million. No. So
Obviously
is the line here. I like the 49ers at home. I feel like the vibes have completely flipped for the 49ers over the course of the last week. You get Christian McCaffrey back at practice, although the designation wasn't just calf because he's been dealing with a calf injury that we thought, well, it's calf/Achilles, which you don't like. You don't want to start a season for the guy who's going to touch the ball more than maybe anybody in the league with a little bit of an Achilles injury. So that's definitely something to monitor. Do they limit his touches in week one? I don't know. John Lynch said that he looks like himself at practice. And, I have a feeling, Kyle Shanahan doesn't like to hold people back. So going to be full go Christian McCaffrey. I have a feeling you might have a not full go Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams potentially just because they're, I don't know if they'll have their lungs in them in a week one matchup, but they'll be on the field as well for the 49ers. And, Ricky Pearsall, a galvanizing player, I think, for this team and a rallying point for the 49ers. Suddenly he'll probably be out there taking the team out of the tunnel after getting shot last week. So I think the Jets might be running into a little bit of a buzzsaw in week one, potentially. And, we just don't really know what Aaron Rodgers is. But if it's Hall of Fame Aaron Rodgers for the Jets, that's a really good football team. And this is going to be an awesome game to end week one. That unknown for me makes me want to take the 49ers at 4.5. If this was like a bigger line, I probably would take the Jets. And I would have taken the Jets at 4.5 last week. But right now I like the Niners.
All great points, and we know the Niners can steamroll anybody. Shanahan's been scheming this up, and I remember what he did to the Steelers with the whole offseason to prepare, and, giving him time scares me. I'm going to take the Jets, though, because I think these are two good defenses that can keep things close. I think they have the corners to at least do battle with Ayuk and Debo quite well. I think that front is going to cause the Niners O-line problems, and I think the Jets have the better O-line today, especially considering the condition of Trent Williams. I'll just bet on Rodgers in primetime with the world watching, Keep it close.
Quinnen Williams against a rookie starting right guard and Dominic Pooney is an interesting one, too, for the 49ers. So
advantage Jets.
That is the week one schedule. Let us know. What do you think about our picks? Who do you think is going to be victorious this weekend? Of course, Matt and I will be back Monday to break it all down right here on Peacock and Williamson. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. And by the way, for your second listen, check out the new Locked On NFL featuring Matt Williamson. We got morning shows and evening shows. And we got the Madman Tyler Rowland and Tony Wiggins, Locked On Jaguars in the barber shop. And so lots of fun there. And you can see Matt Williamson back on Locked On NFL like the old days as well.
It was fun today. Yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed. Matt and I back tomorrow. No, not back tomorrow. Back Monday, right here on Peacock and Williamson.